Assalamu alaikum dear students, hope you are fine. As you know, we have completed a lesson. We are not afraid to die if we can all be together. And now in today's lesson we will be discussing its questions. Now let's start. Understanding the text. It's question number first. ये क्वेश्चन नंबर फर्स्ट है लिस्ट द स्टेप्स टेकन बाय द कैप्टन नंबर फर्स्ट पार्ट इसका टू प्रोटेक्ट द शिप व्हेन rough weather began. This is question number first. Answer is the narrator decided to slow down the ship to protect it from bad stormy weather. He dropped the storm jib and lashed heavy mooring rope across the stern of the ship. Then they doubled or lashed everything. They carried their life draft drill, attached lifelines, donned life jackets, and oil skins. This was first part of this question. Now the second part is to check the flooding of the water in the ship. Answer of this question is to check the flooding of the water. The narrator put waterproof hatch which covered the gaping holes. This diverted the water flow to the side. His hand pumps were blocked due to debris, and his one electric pump was short circuited. He found a hand pump and a spare electric pump. He connected the electric pump to the out pipe and started it. Let me repeat the answer of this question. To check the flooding of the water, the narrator put waterproof hatch which covered the gaping holes. This diverted the water flow to the side. His hand pumps were blocked due to debris, and his one electric pump was short circuited. He found a hand pump and a spare electric pump. He connected the electric pump to the out pipe and started it. This was question number first. Now the question number second is इसके दो पार्ट्स थे हमने एक्सप्लेन किए. Now the question number second is इसका एक ही पार्ट है. Describe the mental condition of the voyagers on 4 and 5 January. Describe the mental conditions. We have to describe the mental conditions of the voyagers who were sailing in the ship on 4th and 5th January. Answer. On January 4, the voyagers felt relieved as they were continuously pumping out water for the past 36 hours, and only a few centimeters of the water was left. They had their first meal in 2 days. Mary found some corned beef and cracker biscuits. Later, around 4 p.m., the weather changed as black clouds marched towards them. The wind was now 40 knots, and the sea was getting higher. The weather got worse. By the early morning of January 5, the situation was bad. This gave them mental stress. This was question number second. Now question number third is describe the shifts in the narration of the events as indicated in the three sections of the text. Give a subtitle to each section. Question. Describe the shifts in the narration of the events as indicated in the three sections of the text. Give a subtitle to each section. Answer is the first section. The title of this section is Beginning of the Round, the Voyage. It is the beginning of the round, the voyage. The first section was cheerful and full of hope as the family began their planned voyage, just like the one done 200 years ago by the famous Captain James Cook. They had perfected seating skills for 16 years. They had perfected their They had perfected their seafaring skills for 16 years. They built a ship, Wave Walker, professionally, which was at 23 meters long, 30 tons, wooden hulled ship. They celebrated Christmas on the ship despite the bad weather. This was the first section, and the title of the section is Beginning of the Round the Voyage. Now the second section is it is title is The Struggle with the Big Attack. The struggle with the big attack. This section changed from cheerful to intense. The family was under great pressure to survive the oncoming waves and bad weather conditions. A giant wave created chaos and the ship was about to overturn. The narrator was thrown off into the water and he almost drowned and got injured. Along with two hired crewmen, the narrator pumped out the water from the ship for a continuous 36 hours. He also tried repairing the parts of the ship. He almost lost his hope and believed they would die. But his children were fearless and courageous enough, which gave him the determination to fight back. This was the second section, and its title was The Struggle with the Big Attack. Now the third section is Victory. With the support of his children, with the support of his children of the narrator kept trying to save the ship in order to reach the two small islands, Isle, Island Amsterdam. They finally reached the destination and got help from the inhabitants of the island. His son called him the best daddy and best captain. Now the questions are talking about the text. It is page 18. पेज 18 में पे जो क्वेश्चंस हैं वही हम डिस्कस कर रहे हैं. नाउ टॉकिंग अबाउट द टेक्स्ट, डिस्कस द फॉलोइंग क्वेश्चंस विद योर पार्टनर. क्वेश्चन है, व्हाट difference did you notice between the reaction of the adults and the children when faced with danger? What difference did you notice between the reaction of the adults and the children when faced with danger? क्या डिफरेंस थी बिटवीन द रिएक्शन ऑफ द एडल्ट्स, उनकी रिएक्शन क्या थी एडल्ट्स की, एंड द चिल्ड्रंस, उनके दरमियान कौन सी रिएक्शन थी, उस रिएक्शन के दरमियान कौन सी डिफरेंस है व्हेन दे फेस द डेंजर. आंसर, देयर वाज अ ह्यूज डिफरेंस बिटवीन द रिएक्शन ऑफ द एडल्ट्स एंड द चिल्ड्रन. द एडल्ट्स लूज देयर होप एट द एंड and wait for the fate of death. On the other hand, the children were hopeful and gave the narrator moral support. With the support of his children, Jonathan and Susanne, he decided to make it to the island at any cost. The children showed maturity. His son expressed courage as to how he was not afraid to die if they were all together. His son expressed the courage as to how he was not afraid to die if they all were together. His daughter made him a card expressing her love and affection towards her parents and wrote a beautiful message. She was injured still. She did not let it become a hurdle for the parents who were trying to save the ship. Right? Now the question of this section is second is, how does the story suggest the optimism helps to endure? How does the story suggest that optimism helps to endure the direst stress? The direst stress. Answer is, optimism is the determination to overcome any challenge. Optimism is the determination to overcome any challenge. Without optimism, it is impossible to face difficulties and solve problems. The family fought with the sea. The family fought with the sea with great optimism and determination, which ultimately saved them. Again and again, on being attacked by the sea, they did not stop trying. which helped them to get to the shore of the isle Amsterdam Island. When the son of the narrator told him, "We are not afraid of dying if we can all be together, you and Mummy, Sue and I," this showed the maturity of the children and how they played an important role in motivating the narrator, who had almost lost hope. Sue, his daughter, who made him a god, showed how she was proud of her parents and did not make a big deal of her injuries, which were in a bad condition. With the struggle and the efforts, they finally made it to the destination. Now, the question number third is, what lessons do we learn from such hazardous experience when we are face to face with death? Which lessons do we learn? कौन से lessons हम learn कर रहे हैं from these hazardous experiences when we are face to face with death? Answer is, life is never life is never about being happy at all. Life is never be about happy. Life is never about being happy all the time. We are constantly tested, and how we tackle every problem and rise through it is the ultimate lesson. Such hazardous situations teach us how we should reach towards them. We must never lose hope and keep trying, as it will lead to success. In certain situations, one must keep calm and think logically, right? In certain situations, one must keep calm, खामोश रहना चाहिए और logically सोचना चाहिए. No matter how bad the situation is, there is always a way to get out of it. कोई न कोई रास्ता निकलता है. हर वक्त रास्ता होता है जिससे इस रास्ते से हम इस मुश्किल तूफान से निकल जाएंगे, प्रॉब्लम से निकल जाएंगे. The significance of being extra cautious and to make sure that the situation does not get worse is required at such moments, right? Now the question number 4 is, why do you think people undertake such adventurous expeditions in spite of the risk involved? आपका क्या सोचना है कि लोग इन एडवेंचरस एक्सपेडिशंस को एक्सपीरियंस करते हैं कि इनको इन स्पाइट ऑफ द फैक्ट दैट दे नो दैट द रिस्क आर इन्वॉल्व इन दीज एडवेंचरस expeditions? Answer is, the willingness to accept the challenge. The willingness to accept challenge drives people to take such adventurous expeditions in spite of the risk involved. People like to try different elements. People like to try different elements of the nature, and some do it as passion. Surely people already know of the risks involved in such activities, but still they do not hesitate to try it out, right? होप आपने अंडरस्टैंड की होगी ये क्वेश्चंस. बाकी क्वेश्चंस हम नेक्स्ट टॉपिक क्लास में करेंगे. आपका बहुत बहुत शुक्रिया.